we feel grateful in the presence of His Holiness. To commemorate this historic day, I would request the Director of IIT Delhi to present a symbol of our love and gratitude to His Holiness.
Thank you.
May I now request the President of IIT Delhi Alumni Association to present a symbol of our gratitude and indebtedness to His Holiness.
Oh, yeah.
Holiness, we have designed a cap for you.
That's very practical. I think outside, and this will be very, very useful. Very good. Thank you.
And this is a prayer shawl from IIT Delhi. We designed it with some different color.
Oh,
And we thought maybe you will like it during the prayers. So I'll offer you some.
okay. Thank you, thank you. Put here.
Thank you. A symbol of purity and compassion, the khata has been an integral part of the Tibetan culture for centuries. By offering a khata to His Holiness, we express our sincerest love to Him and embrace ourselves in His blessings. May I now request members of the organizing committee of this occasion to offer khatas to His Holiness. First, we have Mr. M.S. Bava, Chairman, Organizing Committee.
Thank you. May I touch here? Very good.
Dr. Ramesh Jalan, Co-Chairman, Organizing Committee.
Thank you.
Mr. Indu Bhaskar, Secretary, IIT Delhi Alumni Association.
Sure.
Next, we have Mr. Sanjeev Jain, Joint Secretary, IIT Delhi Alumni Association.
Thank you.
And finally, Mrs. Aparna, Treasurer, IIT Delhi Alumni Association.
Thank you.
Thank you. May I now call upon Dr. Deepak Dogra, President of IIT Delhi Alumni Association, to introduce His Holiness and give the welcome address. An academic, a researcher, a consultant, and the author of 14 books in the area of business management, Dr. Deepak Dogra is a perfect blend of experience in industry and academia. Sir.
A very good afternoon. We are honored and privileged to have with us today His Holiness, the 14th Dalai Lama, Tenzin Gyatso, the spiritual and temporal leader of the Tibetan people. We heartily welcome you, Your Holiness, and thank you for your gracious presence amongst us here today. I would like to extend a gracious and warm welcome to all the distinguished alumni, faculty members, IITD staff, guests, visitors, students, ladies and gentlemen, to this historic occasion at IIT Delhi. I know that many of you have traveled a long distances to be here. You all are most welcome. I would also like to welcome those who are viewing online this program. This event is being streamed live to allow us, as many people as possible, to join in the experience. Since 1961, when IIT Delhi was accorded the status of a university, the alumni of IIT Delhi have become a strong and integral part of the institute, and by extension have created a society. The alumni are in constant contemplation of what they can give back to the institute and strive to integrate a stronger relationship with alma mater. The IIT Delhi Alumni Association organizes programs and events throughout the years that are of value to alumni, their alma mater, and are in country's national interest, with a network of over 41,000 alumni spread throughout the world. His Holiness is respected around the world as a truly inspirational spiritual teacher whose energy, compassion, and wisdom touch everyone he meets. He is renowned for his tireless effort to promote the peaceful resolution of human conflict, and today his message on ethics and happiness will have a deep resonance for everyone throughout India and the world. I request everyone present here to join me in welcoming
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama describes himself as a simple Buddhist monk. He is the spiritual leader of Tibet. He was born on 6 July 1935 to a farming family in a small hamlet located in Takstar, Amado, northeastern Tibet. At the very young age of 2, the child, who was named Lahamo Dondop at that time, was recognized as the reincarnation of the previous 13th Dalai Lama. The Dalai Lamas are believed to be the manifestation of Lokaketeshwara or Chengrezig, the Bodhisattva of compassion and patron of saint of Tibet. Bodhisattvas are believed to be enlightened beings who have postponed their own nirvana and chosen to take rebirth in order to serve humanity. His Holiness began his monastic education at the age of 6. In 1950, His Holiness was called upon to assume full political power after China's invasion of Tibet in 1949-50. In 1954, he went to Beijing for peace talks with Mao Zedong and other Chinese leaders, including Deng Xiaoping and Zhou Enlai. But finally, in 1959, with the brutal suppression of Tibet national upsurging in Lhasa by Chinese troops, His Holiness was forced to escape into exile. Since then, he has been living in Dharamshala, northern part of the India. In 1963, His Holiness presented a draft democratic constitution for Tibet that was followed by a number of reforms to democratize the Tibetan administrative setup. In 1992, the Central Tibetan Administration issued guidelines for the constitution of future free Tibet. In May 90, the reforms called by His Holiness saw the realization of a truly democratic administration in exile for the Tibetan community. The Tibetan cabinet, which till then had been appointed by His Holiness, was dissolved along with the 10th Assembly of the Tibetan People's Deputies. In the same year, exiled Tibetans on the Indian subcontinent and in more than 33 other countries elected 46 members to the extended 11th Tibetan Assembly on a one-man, one-vote basis. The Assembly, in turn, elected the new members of the cabinet. In September 2001, a further major step in democratization was taken when the Tibetan electorate directly elected the Kalontipa, the senior most minister of the cabinet. So far, let me put it, on 21st September 1987, in his address to the members of the United States Congress in Washington, D.C., His Holiness proposed a 5-point peace plan for the Tibet as the first step towards a peaceful solution to the worsening situation in Tibet. The peace plan contained 5 basic components: transformation of the whole of Tibet into a zone of peace, abandonment of China's population transfer policy that threatens the very existence of the Tibetan as a people, respect for the Tibetan people's fundamental human rights and democratic freedoms, restoration and protection of Tibet's natural environment, and the abandonment of the China's use of Tibet and for the production of nuclear weapons and dumping of nuclear waste. And the 5th, commencement of the earnest negotiation on the future status of Tibet and of relation between Tibetan and Chinese people. His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, is a man of peace. In 1989, he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for his non-violent struggle for the liberation of Tibet. He was consistently advocated policy of non-violence, even in the face of extreme aggression. He also became the first Nobel laureate to be recognized for his concern for global environmental problems. His Holiness has traveled to more than 67 countries, spanning 6 continents. He has received over 150 awards, honorary doctorates, prizes, etc. In recognition of his message of peace, non-violence, interreligious understanding, universal responsibility and compassion, he has also co-authored more than 110 books. I think if the time allow me, I will have to read many pages. With these few words, I say, in today's fast-paced world, where we have driven by a competition and have a little time for ourselves, we have gathered today to pause and rethink about something that perhaps matter to us: happiness. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. May I now call upon Professor K. Tyagarajan, the Director of IIT Delhi, to say a few words about the Institute. Sir.
His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Dr. Gaurav Dogra, President IIT Delhi Alumni Association, Professor Shashi Mathur, Dean Alumni Affairs, faculty, staff, students, guests, followers of His Holiness, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to all of you. On my personal behalf and on behalf of IIT Delhi, it is my great honor and privilege to welcome all of you to this institute for this program, in which His Holiness will address the gathering on a very important topic of ethics and happiness. The topic that he is going to speak to us is extremely important and is relevant to all of us, especially in today's times. It was about 80 years ago that I had gone to Dharamshala with my family to take a chance of meeting him, but somehow I was unlucky. And today I stand here and I have no words to express my joy on this occasion when I'm standing so close to him, absorbing the spiritual energy that pervades his presence. His Holiness the Dalai Lama is a personification of compassion, a well-known characteristic of Buddhism and its principles. I have no doubt that the entire audience will be in a state of greater enlightenment after listening to him and filled with a profusion of positive energy. I would like to thank IIT Delhi Alumni Association for inviting His Holiness to IIT and arranging his talk at this place. I'm sure all of you must have read many quotes by His Holiness. The one that keeps ringing in my ear is, "Pain is inevitable, suffering is optional." A quote like this can ease you of a lot of pain at times when we go through And I would like to thank His Holiness for giving us this enlightenment. I would again like to thank His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, for having consented to come to IIT Delhi and address the alumni, faculty, students, staff, and all others. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. It is my honor to request His Holiness, the 14th Dalai Lama of Tibet, to enlighten the gathering. Ladies and gentlemen.
Please, sit down. Sit down. Inside quite because of the cold. So I use this practically, something very useful. Okay. Very good. Thank you. God. So respected elder brothers and sisters and the rest of the brothers and sisters. Indeed, I feel great honor having this opportunity to share some of my sort of feeling or thought to, as I think, mainly students and the teachers. So thank you. You give me this opportunity. Thank you very much. Then also, I appreciate you, while you introduce me, quite, I think, because of the detail, because of the explanation. But meantime, I want to make some corrections. Firstly, you see, some people, of course, because I have the name of Dalai Lama, so you see, people consider something, certain manifestation of certain sort of Buddha or Bodhisattvas. Yes, I think some high sort of spiritual leaders, yes, certainly, it's a manifestation of certain sort of high beings. And then first Dalai Lama, second Dalai Lama, something very unusual. And I look, you see, those previous Dalai Lamas sort of there, how should they, certain inner ability. Then I look to myself, nothing. These sort of special qualities. So I have the name of Dalai Lama, but not necessarily the same person of those previous Dalai Lamas. So in any way, I think one sort of significant, when I was young, I'm a very, very lazy student. When I study, I have no sort of enthusiasm. my only interest is play and gossip, talk, like that. Then it is quite correct. You mentioned, I think since the fifth Dalai Lama institution also becoming automatically head of temporal and spirituality. Now my time, as you mentioned, all my sort of work for democratization. Then finally, 2011, I totally retired from temporal responsibility. And not only myself retired, but also almost 4th century old tradition. Dalai Lama institution automatically become head of both. That now formally, voluntarily, proudly cease. So, sometimes I jokingly telling people, since this sort of tradition started by 5th Dalai Lama, so if 5th Dalai Lama reappear, whether he agree or not, I don't know. But in any way, no possibility his reappearances. So I have quite free. So then, as a result of meeting with different people and also watching a world, besides increasing, let's say, nature disaster, I think man-made problem actually our own creation. That is now still there. I think 20th century, according to some historian, more than 200 million people killed through violence. I think we should feel now enough. We should not have more killing. Because, the immense violence, including use nuclear weapon, if world, because of this immense violence, create some new shape, better shape of this planet, then some people may argue justification way, justified this violence. That's not the case. As a matter of fact, now still, you see the violence on our planet, you see, particularly now, Northern Africa and this Arab area, this, I feel, symptom of past mistake during 20th century. So, I think basically we human being, I think more educated human being, I think now everywhere, in Japan, Australia, and some European countries, in America, I think many people, many sensible people, I think really express fed up, too much violence. Once, violence, happen. The first sort of sufferer, are children, and old age sort of people, innocent people. The real sort of decision maker of this real creator of this violence, they remain more or less comfortable way. Sometimes I sort of jokingly telling just now should develop one bullet. That bullet you see, goes the real troublemaker side. So bullet itself used to go, even inside a house, go this way, this way, this way, hit that person who created these sort of problems. Then okay. Otherwise, really very sad. Now Iraq, Iran, Syria, in this area. How many innocent, Yemen also, how many innocent people suffer? And also, you see, a lot of people dying due to starvation. In some cases, natural disaster also, or drought like that. So when we seeing, you see, these very unfortunate things, if we think furthermore, who created this problem? Human being created 7 billion human beings. No one want a problem, suffering. But we created. How? Same planet, same human being. I think this very moment, dying out of violence or starvation. Then, if we remain as an indifference, right, indifferent, I think it is really, I think, immoral. Reason quite simple. We are a social animal. Unlike previous time, in the past time, now today, every continent, every nations, their well-being very much interrelated, interconnected. Obviously, global economy, no national boundary, no religious boundary. And then, of course, climate, these things, you see, no national boundary, like that. So, our future, individual, our future, directly or indirectly related with well-being of 7 billion human beings' well-being. Right? 7 billion human beings happy, peaceful, we each individual get maximum benefit. If humanity, like today's situation, go continuously killing, and suspicion, distrust, then also now gap, rich and poor, and corruptions. I think India, frankly speaking, I think very much religious-minded nation, but among them some corruptions. It's quite sad. People who no religion, no sort of, or say the concept of spirituality, then quite understandable. But people, I think each Indian family, some statues, Ganesh or Shivaji or Saraswati, sometimes Shivalingam or Buddha statue. I think mainly a mother of the family, you see, each morning some offering, some incense, some flower, isn't it? So it seems to see some offering to God and goddesses, in order to success your corrupted life. If you really believe, you see, the real sort of also the value of spirituality, then these sort of also the spiritual sort of tradition or concept should be part of our life. and should carry whole day more honest, truthful, compassionate. So now all these, you see, we are lacking the conviction about moral principle. Now, how to bring conviction, this conviction? Through religious preaching? No. Already, of course, there are wonderful people also there, but generally, I think over 3,000 or 2,000 years, spirituality or prayer, these, I think sometimes I really feel, and some extent, I think fail to bring healthy humanity. So now, according Indian, or say the tradition, or the concept of secular, see, according Indian understanding, secular means respect all religions, then also respect non-believer. This is something very unique and very relevant to today's world. Because today's world, out of 7 billion human beings, over 1 billion non-believer. And frankly speaking, among the believers also, some corrupted believer also there. So lacking real sort of faith or conviction about this deeper value. So then sometimes religion also become another sort of way to earn and exploit the devotees because of the faith. Right? Sad. And then worst thing, religion itself becoming one factor to divide people and even causing killing. Unfortunately, in Burma, the Buddhism, or Buddhist and Islam community, some problem. Actually unthinkable, but these things now happening. So therefore, now we have to find what is the way to create happier world. Happier means more compassionate mind here automatically bring inner peace, happiness. Now that's now scientists also now showing person who constantly experience anger, hatred, say actually eating our immune system. So, more agitative minded sort of person, that mental state very, very harmful for our physical health. So now these days, many scientists, when we have sort of discussions, we usually use the word healthy body. To healthy body, we need healthy mind. So therefore, every people is taking care about health, physical health. Now then, think more deeply, more holistic way. Then health, physical health also very much related with healthy mind. That healthy mind means calm, relax. Then sometimes I also see how teasing those young female or girls. You spend, some money for external beauty. Yes, it is important. But more important is internal beauty. Isn't it? Without internal beauty, just external beauty may bring some attraction to some sort of boyfriend or like that. And then it remained, I think, a few days or a few weeks, maximum few months, happy. But then gradually, the sign of lack of inner beauty gradually come. Then start a quarrel. I think, so therefore, inner beauty is very important. Inner beauty means more sense of concern of others' well-being, then including your parent or your children, your husband or your wife. Then, you see, where? Sense of concern of others' well-being. I think firstly towards family member. But that actually biased love, biased compassion. That's mainly come from biological factor. No. The love or compassion which we are talking is unbiased compassion. Biological factor compassion is it is seed of this compassion. Then use human intelligence, long-term interest, and more holistic. That's the power of human intelligence. So, with help of human intelligence, then that kind of biased love, biased affection, then develop unbiased love. You see, that kind of love, not oriented about others' attitude. Even you see, your enemy, as far as the attitude is concerned, negative. So we call enemy. But still, your enemy, these people also come from their mother. Also, you see, nurtured by human affection, mainly from their parent and particularly their mother. So these also, you see, have the seed of compassion. And then, as a human brothers, sisters, they also deserve our love, our sense of concern, their well-being. You see, that is unbiased love or compassion. The other animal cannot do that. We human being, because of this intelligence, the special brain, we have the ability to develop that kind of, or say the unbiased, infinite love. So now, we means I myself, and then some my friend, some scientists, some educationists, some thinkers, some social workers. You see, now after sort of years, it's a discussion, thinking. Now, education is the key factor. Now, in our existing education system, you see, very much oriented about external values, materialistic sort of, because oriented. And now time come, in our existing education system, should include education about our inner value. That also not based on religious belief, as I mentioned earlier, ancient Indian sort of tradition, secular way. So use our common experience, as I mentioned earlier, all 7 billion human beings come from their mother. All, including so-called these terrorists, they also, you see, received maximum affection from their mother, from their parent. Same experiences. Then use common sense So you can see among your neighbor, the one family where economically may be poor, difficult life, but in the family full of love, trust. So that family, when we enter that family, there is some kind of atmosphere, warmth there. Isn't it? Another family, materially very rich, or very expensive sort of furniture, facilities, a big house, but among the family member, a little bit distrust, a little bit jealousy. Then, you see, that family, you see, will not be happy family. The materials or expensive material facility will not bring happiness. Happiness only bring by warm-heartedness. And again, we are social animal. Friendship is very essential. Genuine friendship comes on the basis of trust. Trust comes if you show them genuine sense of concern and respect them. Then trust comes. So materials or what's today, and money or power will not bring trust. Trust from heart must show them your sincerity with that honest, truthful. So as a social animal, friendship is very important in order to create genuine friendship. Again, very much related with warm-heartedness. Then, as I briefly mentioned, your healthy body also related with warm-heartedness. And because our longevity is where? Longevity also you see related with warm-heartedness. Just this morning, I met one Kasa. Such a mean?
Springdale School. Springdale School.
Oh. Is it among the audience, is it, or the concerned sort of people there? Two very old lady, over 90 years, much older than me, smiling and jovial, wonderful. And one lady, over 93 years old. You see, her sort of body seems to see, much thicker than my physical, my hand. So looks very strong. So I also teach her like that. So this, on her face, we can notice joyful, inner peace. So really, in some extent, myself also, some doctors describe me as a young patient. Then, one occasion, I think a few years ago, one doctor described me as a young patient. Then I told him, no, I'm not young. Now, because of the late 70s at that time. Then the doctor say, oh, I know your age, but your physical condition looks 60s or something like that. So these, I'm quite sure, my mental state, quite relaxed, peaceful. When I talk people, when I meet people, I always have this sort of feeling, we are same human being. Mentally, emotionally, physically, we are same. As a matter of fact, entire 7 billion human beings are same. And then more important, everyone want happy life. I think many people, lack of knowledge, due to lack of knowledge, the ultimate source of happiness or healthy body here. We always seek happiness from outside due to lack of knowledge. So now, in our education field, from kindergarten up to university level, one part of the lesson is about a mental system, emotional system. In that respect, the ancient Indian psychology, very rich. We are students of Nalanda masters. So we notice, now last 30 years, when I have a serious discussion with modern scientists, then they're really showing, genuine sort of interest, not only interest, genuine sort of appreciation. They really found very useful information from our knowledge. That's all come from India. I always describe Indians, traditionally our guru. All things, our knowledge, we learned from you. So more precise, ancient Indians were our guru, not a modern Indian. Modern Indian, you see, I think through centuries, forget, you see, these inner values or this knowledge, really. So now, you should pay more attention about your own knowledge, which very much developed in ancient time. Now, these knowledge, not ritual or put something here, not these kind of thing, but the real sort of knowledge about our emotion, about our mind, and then knowledge how to tackle these sort of destructive emotion, how to increase constructive emotion. Now, these should not consider as a part of religion, but should consider as an academic subject or subject for health, for happiness, and ultimately subject to build compassionate humanity. So therefore, you see, when I used to discuss with these scientists, they really showing their eagerness to learn from these, because of the knowledge about mind or emotion. So if you present, you see, these things as a part of religion, then it becomes limitation or boundaries. Make presentation these things as an academic subject, as a science of mind, then it can cover entire 7 billion human beings. So I fully committed, since, as I mentioned earlier, since I retired from a temporal sort of responsibility, now my energy, my time spent on these fields. Number one, commitment. My commitment, number one, is the promotion of human value through education. Number one. Number two, commitment of promotion of religious harmony. That also India's tradition. This country, I think, over 2,000 years, beside homegrown different religious tradition, as from outside, Zoroastrian, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, all, you see, come here separate. So basically, this country, I think, a unique sort of sort of because of unique situation. All world major religious traditions live together. Occasionally some problems. That's understandable. Sometimes I have joke, mentioning among over billion population, there must be some mischievous people. 1 billion, all like God, goddesses, then not human society. So some mischievous people must be there. So therefore, some mischievous people, create sometimes, the religious kasachukti, or conflict like so on, like that. So therefore, basically, I think India is really example where different religious traditions can live together. And on the basis of mutual respect, mutual admiration, and furthermore, more closer relation, we can use mutual learning. So therefore, I think India is truly example on this planet. Religious harmony is very possible. Not a political reason or some other reasons. Over 2,000 years, religious harmony is there. So in this respect, I fully committed for promotion of religious harmony. And like I think late Polish Pope, I usually call the Polish Pope or German Pope or Italian Pope like that, now Argentinian Pope, because these individual names sometimes I can't remember. So therefore, when you introduce your own sort of name or position, it's difficult to keep these different names in my mind. And also, I feel not important. So long you show human face and a smile, that's sufficient. That's enough. So recently, I was in Mayo Hospital. One doctor is one specialist for my knees. He asked me how he sort of address to you. And I told, yes, you simply call me brother. That's true. Then, during that sort of period, some sort of checkup like that, so he often used, oh brother, please, your leg, kasoda, show this way, that way, like that. I really feel happy. Sometimes people try to address me, His Holiness. Sometimes also, they find the difficulties. I think sometimes they say His Holiness. Sometimes they say His Excellency. Sometimes they say His Highness. Much better, just to call Buddhist monk or brother. It's much better. So, the Polish Pope, he started, the religious harmony or concept of pluralism. So RCC meeting, oh wonderful. At that time, I sort of expressed to him, firstly, appreciation. Then secondly, I hope this kind of meeting, not just once, this, I hope, beginning. So continuously, that kind of sort of meeting should continue. So there are now signs, the closer feeling or recognition, the other religion by another religious tradition. So among the religious sort of field, they were called pluralism now coming. That's healthy sign. So therefore, you Indian, I think one additionally, or besides as a human being, you see our sort of commitment to promote human value, that's human compassion, not based on religion, but secular way. In the West, you see, when I sort of mention secular, you see, some my friend, you see, they consider secular is something negative attitude towards religion. Some even, you see, mentioned secularism and atheism is some connection. According to Indian understanding, as I mentioned already, secular means respect all religions, no preference, this religion, that religion, and also non-believer. I think that's very realistic, very relevant to today's world. Clear? Now, so number one, I think the promotion of this is secular basis human value. Number two, as an Indian, promotion of religious harmony. So this is something very important. So if may I say so,